Hello and welcome to Science Monitor, a show that brings to you the most significant news from the world of science, technology, innovation, research, discoveries, and much more. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor, and here are this week's headlines. Astronomers reveal the first ever visual evidence of a black hole 55 million light years from Earth. Professor K. Vijay Raghavan delivers a special talk on life sciences under Scientific Society Talk Series 2019 at AIIMS. Scientists at Indian Institute of Technology Madras develop a unique model to handle huge crowds at mega events like Kumbh and Hajj. Panel discussion on Conserve Water, Protect Life organized at Kochi to educate people on the importance of water conservation in India. The biggest story this week, in coordinated press conferences across the globe, Event Horizon Telescope researchers unveiled the first direct visual evidence of the black hole in the center of a galaxy called Messier 87. The shadow of a black hole seen here is the closest image of the black hole itself. The black hole is a dense object with so much of gravitational force that even a ray of light cannot pass through it. This black hole is 55 million light years from Earth and has a mass of 6.5 billion times that of the Sun. Science Monitor brings you a report on the details of this path-breaking discovery.
Scientists and theorists have been long working on one of the biggest mysteries of the universe, called the black hole. The black hole is a dense object with so much of gravitational force that even a ray of light cannot pass through it. To an observer, it would just appear as a sphere of perfect blackness. Most famously, Albert Einstein predicted black holes more than a century ago. Einstein stunned the world when he explained the universe through his theory of general relativity. The theory not only described the relationship between space, time, gravity and matter, it opened the door to the theoretical possibility of a phenomena that would eventually be called black holes. And now, as the Event Horizon Telescope has unveiled the first ever picture of a black hole, it confirms Einstein's original theory and provides proof that they are real. This breakthrough was announced in a series of 6 papers published in a special issue of the astrophysical journal Letters. The results were based on multidisciplinary fields of science, including computer science, mathematical models, and astrophysics.
The central giant black holes in galaxies are not just sitting there doing their thing, producing twin jets of plasma and so forth. There is also a lot of evidence that they actually affect the star formation in their environment. And so they might play a key role in how galaxies themselves evolve.
The Event Horizon Telescope, or EHT, is an international collaboration. The EHT collaboration consists of 13 stakeholder institutes like the University of Arizona, the East Station Observatory, Large Millimeter Telescope, and National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. It has been used to measure the size of the emission regions of the 2 black holes with the largest apparent event horizon, SGRA at the center of the Milky Way and M87 in the center of the Virgo A galaxy. The EHT project includes theoretical and simulation studies about the black hole. Its most recent picture is a path-breaking revelation for scientists across the globe.
So Messier 87 is a very heavy galaxy. It's a much bigger galaxy than the Milky Way, in which many stars swarm, so it has this sort of elliptical shape when we look at it in the sky. And the black hole in the center of Messier 87 is much heavier than even the one in our Milky Way. So even if it is further than the center of our Milky Way. The black hole is much bigger. It is 1 billion times the mass of our sun, whereas the Milky Way central black hole is 4 into 1 million times the mass of our sun. And so this is another black hole that could possibly be seen in shadow by the sharpness of the images that the Event Horizon Telescope.
The first image of a black hole at the center of galaxy M87 shows a bright ring. The light bends in the intense gravity around a black hole that is 6.5 billion times more massive than the Sun. This long-sought image provides the strongest evidence to date for the existence of black holes and opens a new window onto the study of black holes, their event horizons and gravity. The event horizon is the point of no return. This is where no light or any kind of radiation can pass through. We are a part of an unexplainably large universe. Black holes are important to study the core of gravity as well as the most extreme areas of our universe. Understanding the vast universe also helps to understand the existence of our extraordinary planet Earth and life on it. This photo is just the beginning in this mysterious path. This achievement also changed the earlier notion that only astronomers can make us aware about the mysteries of space. But the first picture of the black hole proved the fact that various branches of science, especially computer science, has played a major role in this historical breakthrough.
All India Institute of Medical Sciences, or AIIMS, New Delhi, organized the Scientific Society Talk Series 2019, in which Professor K. Vijay Raghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, delivered a talk on the importance of life sciences and the emerging opportunities for research in this diverse field. Science Monitor brings you this report.
Research and development in the realm of life sciences have marked the dawn of a new era of advancements in the field of biology in India and across the globe. Life sciences is a branch of science which focuses on the study of living organisms and life processes. It helps to understand natural science to create solutions for many of our problems that cater to precision medicine to disease diagnostics. Life sciences represents an interdisciplinary science which connects various aspects of science like plants, animals, microorganisms, zoology, anatomy and other living things. The All India Institute of Medical Sciences, or AIIMS in New Delhi, organized a special lecture with Professor K. Vijay Raghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, on the life sciences, how medical doctors can grasp the future of research. The objective of the lecture was to encourage biomedical research among medical students. The lecture was held under AIIMS Scientific Society Talk Series 2019, started by undergraduate students of the institute to get exposure to the scientific world.
What I'll talk to you today is a relatively narrow part, not substantially related to that, but what I think as medical students, the opportunities you may have in today's world to do research in the life sciences. Let's go on to see what the life sciences has to offer, and decades, indeed centuries of research in the life sciences has led to an extraordinary understanding of what we can call nature's engineering.
Dr. Raghavan discussed the opportunities for research in life sciences to understand the biology, molecular biology, cellular and genetics in a better way. Advancement in life sciences have helped in innumerable ways, such as to use the genomic code to identify diseases, possible cures to treat infections, and to create drugs. Dr. Raghavan also explained the need to study the biological data analytics at the undergraduate level to carry out in-depth research. Biological data analytics is the intersection of data science and biological research. This new emerging field uses computational techniques to understand genomics, imaging the growth of cancers and neurodegenerative disorders, to name a few. In medical field, the core to understanding the biology of the human body starts from the undergraduate level, which gradually develops to mainstream research interest. As today, life sciences is important in improving the quality and standard of living in different realms. This lecture by Dr. Vijayaraghavan proved fruitful to the aspiring medical students to carry out cutting-edge research in life sciences.
It's time for a short break, and when we return, we take you to the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, where researchers have developed a unique mathematical model to manage large crowds. But that's after a short break. Keep watching Science Monitor. The Kumbh Mela in India and the Hajj in Saudi Arabia are the two biggest human gatherings on earth. General estimation has shown that more than 1 million people gather in a limited space during these events. So far, managing large crowds has been very difficult logistically and requires large manpower and a high level of ground coordination. But still, even a small mistake or mishap can result in stampedes and loss of lives. Now, researchers at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, have developed a sophisticated mathematical model for managing large crowds. Here is a report from our Science Monitor team.
A large number of population gathers at events such as sporting events, concerts, theatres, cinemas, festivals and religious gatherings like Kumbh Mela in India and Hajj in Arabia. Kumbh Mela and Hajj are famous for being the world's largest human gatherings. General estimation showed that over 1 million people every year participate in such events. In these events, there is a greater risk than usual of safety. There is a potential for injury occurring through the dynamics of crowd behavior. There is a sad history of stampede in both religious gatherings where so far thousands of devotees have lost their lives and many suffered from severe injuries. Preventive measures such as CCTV and other communication devices are being routinely used by the organizers of events to ensure that there will be an effective and safe crowd management. But no foolproof solution was available so far. Many researchers were trying to develop methods and formats for handling and mobilizing such overcrowding and avoid stampede-like situations. So, Professor Mahesh Panchagnula from Department of Applied Mechanics and Dr. Sumesh P. Thampi, Assistant Professor from the Department of Chemical Engineering at IIT Madras, along with their student Mr. Ajinkya Kulkarni, formulated a new model to manage large gatherings which will help to control panic movement of crowd and reverse the state back to ordered motion.
Kumbh Mela specifically, or the Hajj as you see here, are examples of large crowds coming together. And you want to, from a fluid dynamics perspective, prevent spots of turbulence. You want this flow to be kind of laminar. You can see it in this video that has been sped up a factor of 10 just to kind of give you clarity of the fluid, of the dynamics of this problem. Now, what we want to do is see if there are by design certain spots in this arena where you are likely to get into turbulent flow kind of spots. We want to avoid those.
By understanding various laws of physics of movement, researchers developed a mathematical model. They used a novel dynamic variant of the classic Wiesek model. It will help to predict the signs of onset and progression of crowd. It will help to identify possible sites for situations like stampede. Wiesek model is based on the movement of particles in an average direction of motion of its neighbor with some noise, but sometimes movement direction of particles are not according to the surrounding environment, so it is called as noise, the mistake that becomes the cause of tragedy. Wiesek model will help organizers to identify such possible location of noise so that preventive measures could be arranged. They used a novel dynamic variant of the classic Wiesek model. VSIC model will help organizers to identify such possible location of noise so that preventive measures could be arranged. The classic VSIC model demonstrates a clever strategy to place control agents such as police or volunteers in regions of low panic to manipulate crowd behavior. Scientists believe that this information could be used to design safety measures for large gatherings.
You can come up with designs where such disasters don't happen. So it's important that whether it's Hajj, Kumbh or whatever crowd you're looking at, you can look at the designs that would, help in stopping these disasters.
The work done by Professor Mahesh Panchagnula and his team is going to provide help to event management organizations where effective mobilization of crowd would be a great savior during panic and stampede-like situations.
If there were no water, there would be no life on Earth. Despite this well-known fact about this elixir of life, it is being overexploited, contaminated and polluted. It is our responsibility to preserve water and keep it from being degraded for the sake of future generations, as well as the multitude of plant and animal life dependent on it. To address and highlight this issue, Swadeshi Science Movement, Kerala, along with Vigyan Prasar, organized a panel discussion called Conserve Water, Protect Life at Kochi in Kerala. Science Monitor brings you a report.
About 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. But most of this water is saline. Unfortunately, clean water is a limited resource. In order to drink clean water, it has to go through a process called desalination. When desalination is used, it removes salt and other minerals from the saline water. This process is very expensive. Also, with the severe droughts happening in the world, the limited supply of fresh water is becoming one of our most precious resources. Conserving water is important because it keeps water pure and clean while protecting the environment. In order to address this issue, Swadeshi Science Movement Kerala and Vigyan Prasar New Delhi organized a panel discussion called Conserve Water, Protect Life at Kochi in Kerala on 4th of April. The panel comprised of Dr. A. Ramachandran, Vice Chancellor Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, Kochi, Dr. Manoj P. Samuel, Principal Scientist, Central Institute of Fisheries Technology, Kochi, Dr. V. Sivanandanachari, Professor, Cochin University of Science and Technology, along with Sachin Narwadia, Scientist Vigyan Prasar, New Delhi.
The program has the objective that public should be aware about the water conservation. As the water conservation is our need of today to give the fresh water availability for our future generation. The program completed in Ernakulam with Science Quiz Show focused on the theme water conservation.
Water conservation includes all the policies, strategies and activities to sustainably manage the natural resource of fresh water to protect the hydrosphere and to meet the current and future human demand. Various water conservation techniques were discussed during the panel discussion, like rainwater harvesting, digging ponds, lakes, canals, expanding the water reservoir and installing rainwater catching ducts and filtration systems on homes are one of the important methods of harvesting rainwater. Another strategy in water conservation is protecting groundwater resources. Contamination of groundwater makes the water supply unfit for consumption. The natural regeneration of contaminated groundwater can take years to replenish. Sustainable use of groundwater is essential in water conservation. A fundamental component to water conservation strategy is communication and education outreach of different water programs to the masses. Effective water management system needs to be in place to efficiently utilize the water released from dams for hydroelectric power generation. Another point which was emphasized during the discussion was afforestation of hilly areas and the need for landscaping on scientific basis. Water shortage has become an increasingly difficult problem to manage. More than 40% of the world's population live in a region where the demand for water exceeds its supply. The imbalance between supply and demand, along with persisting issues such as climate change and population growth, has made water reuse a necessary method for conserving water. These techniques can help cities and villages to plan how to efficiently use water resources in the future. Methods to save water will help future generations have more fresh water and a better environment for all.
It's time for a short break, and when we come back, we will bring you some more news on science and innovation from India and around the world. Keep watching Science Monitor.
पोस्टल बैलेट से वोटिंग कुछ खास वोटरों के लिए ही है। इनमें सरकारी अधिकारी, सैन्य बल, सशस्त्र पुलिस बल, चुनाव की ड्यूटी के लिए अपने राज्य से बाहर तैनात अधिकारी, उनकी पत्नी या देश से बाहर कार्यरत सरकारी अधिकारी आते हैं। इस प्रक्रिया में चुनाव आयोग पहले ही किसी चुनाव क्षेत्र में पोस्टल बैलेट करने वालों की संख्या को निर्धारित कर लेता है। इसके बाद खाली पोस्टल बैलेट को इलेक्ट्रॉनिक तरीके से वोटर तक पहुंचाया जाता है। अगर वोटर ऐसी जगह है जहां इलेक्ट्रॉनिक तरीके का इस्तेमाल नहीं किया जा सकता, तो वहां डाक सेवा से इसे भेजा जाता है। उस मतपत्र को मतदाता पूरी तरीके से भरकर गैजेटेड अधिकारी से वेरीफाई कराकर इस फॉर्म को वापस पोस्ट करता है।
Welcome back. After the break, let's now take a quick look at some more scientific innovations and developments from India and around the world.
India Meteorological Department IMD recently announced the long-range forecast of the 2019 southwest monsoon rainfall. According to the department, the monsoon seasonal rainfall between June to September is likely to be near normal this year. The rainfall is likely to be 96% of the long period average. The good distribution of rainfall will be beneficial for the farmers during the Kharif season. The second stage of the monsoon forecast will be done during the first week of June 2019. The All India Council for Robotics and Automation, or AICRA, recently organized the second edition of India's STEM Summit and Awards 2019. The summit was organized on 16th of April 2019 at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. It was inaugurated by V. Ram Gopal Rao, Director IIT Delhi, Nakul Parashar, Director Vigyan Prasar. The theme of the event was Robotics Education in India and its synchronization with industry. The objective of the summit was to improve robotics educations in schools, institutes, and to facilitate research and career opportunities in robotics. The event organized various presentations, panel and roundtable discussions on robotic education scenario, industry's automation process, government regulations, policy on automation implementation, research, manufacturing, and much more. The panel discussions were focused on the areas of best practice in STEM space design and use, future of work in the digital AI world and academia partnership with institute engagement model in STEM. The summit awarded scientists and researchers for various achievements in the field of STEM. At the summit, one of the awards was given to Irfana Begum of Vigyan Prasar for the outreach of STEM to tribal and rural people. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, has conducted identical twin study on the astronaut brothers Scott Kelly and Mark Kelly to study the changes in the human body after space travel. The study was conducted when Scott Kelly was in one-year mission to the International Space Station in 2016, while his twin brother Mark was studied on Earth. The researchers compared various biological markers like the variations in the gene, immune system response, to name a few. The results showcased that the changes acquired after the space travel disappear after a certain period. The results of the study were published recently in the journal Science. Dr. P.K. Sisodia, Advisor Occupational Health and Building, Other Construction Workers Welfare Board, Government of India, delivered a work-safe oration on the human cost of silicosis and mitigating sufferings. Lessons from Rajasthan model. It was organized on the occasion of 67th Annual Conference of Indian Association of Occupational Health at its Mumbai branch. Silicosis is a lung disease caused by exposure to silica dust in mining, stone carving and crushing industry. Over 14,792 cases of silicosis have been reported from Rajasthan between January 2015 to December 2018. The conference also discussed the approach in detection, prevention and control necessary to reduce the incidence of silicosis.
And in the history of science this week, we look at the first Indian satellite Aryabhat, which was launched from Volgograd launch station in Russia using vehicle C-1 Interkosmos on 19th of April 1975. The satellite was designed and built by the Indian Space Research Organization or ISRO. It was then led by renowned scientist U.R. Rao. The satellite was named after the famous Indian astronomer and mathematician Aryabhat. It was designed to conduct experiments in X-ray astronomy, aeronautics, or the study of upper atmosphere and solar physics. The spacecraft weighed 360 kg and was built in the shape of a 26-sided polygon. Aryabhat entered into the Earth's atmosphere after 17 years on 11th of February 1992. This breakthrough first launch by ISRO opened opportunities for India to join the League of Space Nations. ISRO has today brought India to the forefront of space research. Well, that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. You can send your feedback and suggestions to Science Monitor on our email ID news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Kutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. We'll see you again next week with another episode of Science News and Innovations. Till then, goodbye and take care.